and gentlemen, today I want to talk about a game many of us have been playing without even realizing it. A game that's holding us back from the lives we deserve. It's called playing the yic tim. What does that mean? It's when we fall into the trap of saying, why is it coming to me? Why me? Why this? Why now? Taking responsibility for your life is the first step in overcoming negative feelings and reclaiming your power. It's easy to point fingers, blame others, or attribute our struggles to external circumstances. But that mindset keeps us trapped in a cycle of helplessness. When you choose to take ownership of your thoughts, actions, and responses, you take the driver's seat of your life. You acknowledge that while you cannot control everything that happens to you, you are always in control of how you react to it. That's where your power lies. Responsibility isn't about guilt or self-blame. It's about empowerment. When you take responsibility, you're not saying that everything is your fault. Instead, you're saying, I have the power to change the way I respond to this. I have the power to decide what I do next. That shift in perspective is critical because it reminds you that your life is not dictated by circumstances, but by your choices. It puts the ball back in your court. Think about it. Every time you say, it's not my fault, or I can't do anything about this, you give away a little piece of your power. You allow the situation or even someone else to dictate your emotions and actions. But when you say, I might not have caused this, but I will decide what to do about it, you take your power back. You stop being a victim of your circumstances and become the creator of your reality. Taking responsibility also means being honest with yourself. It requires you to confront the ways you might be contributing to your own struggles. Are you holding on to grudges that are poisoning your peace of mind? Are you indulging in self-defeating thoughts that amplify your negative feelings? Are you procrastinating on the actions you know you need to take? Owning up to these truths can be uncomfortable, but it's necessary. The moment you admit, I've been playing small, or I've been letting fear control me, is the moment you open the door to growth. One of the most powerful things about taking responsibility is that it gives you the freedom to make different choices. If you don't like the way your life looks right now, you have the ability to change it. That doesn't mean it will be easy. Change often requires courage, discipline, and persistence. But the first step is always the same. Stop blaming the world, your past, or other people for where you are, and start focusing on what you can do to move forward. Taking responsibility also means forgiving yourself for past mistakes. It's important to recognize that you are human and you're going to mess up sometimes. What matters is not that you failed, but how you rise after the fall. Dwelling on your mistakes only feeds negativity, but taking responsibility for them allows you to learn and grow. Forgive yourself. Take the lesson and move forward. Every setback is a setup for a comeback if you're willing to take responsibility and act. This mindset shift also applies to how you handle negative emotions. When you take responsibility for your feelings, you stop waiting for external circumstances to improve before you feel better. Instead, you learn to regulate your emotions, practice gratitude, and find ways to create joy even in difficult situations. You might not be able to control the storm, but you can control how you weather it. Taking responsibility is not a one-time decision. It's a daily practice. Every day you'll face choices about how to respond to challenges, setbacks, and disappointments. And every day you have the opportunity to say, I am in control of my life. I choose to take responsibility for what I can do right now. When you live this way, negative feelings lose their grip on you, because you no longer see yourself as powerless. Instead, you see yourself as a person who is capable, resourceful, and resilient. Ultimately, taking responsibility for your life is the foundation of true freedom. It allows you to step out of the shadow of negativity and into the light of possibility. It's not always easy, and it won't happen overnight, But the more you embrace responsibility, the more you'll find that the life you've always wanted is within your reach. You just have to decide that you're willing to take the first step. And that step starts with you. Changing your inner dialogue is one of the most transformative actions you can take to overcome negative feelings. The way you talk to yourself, the thoughts that loop in your mind, shapes your perspective, your emotions, and ultimately your life. If your inner dialogue is filled with criticism, doubt, and fear, it's no surprise that negativity takes root and grows. But when you take control of that dialogue and start speaking to yourself with intention, you create space for confidence, hope, and resilience to thrive. Your inner dialogue is powerful because your mind believes what you tell it most often. If you constantly think, I'm not good enough, this will never work out, or I always fail, those thoughts don't just pass through your mind, they shape your beliefs. And what you believe about yourself determines how you act, the risks you're willing to take, and the opportunities you're willing to pursue. Negative inner dialogue is like a self-fulfilling prophecy. It sets you up to live a smaller, more limited version of your life. The first step in changing your inner dialogue is becoming aware of it. Pay attention to the words and phrases that repeat in your mind, especially when you're feeling overwhelmed or discouraged. Are your thoughts supportive and empowering, or are they harsh and self-defeating? Often we're so accustomed to negative self-talk that we don't even realize it's happening. But awareness is key because you can't change what you don't recognize. Once you've identified the negative patterns in your inner dialogue, it's time to challenge them. Ask yourself, are these thoughts true? Are they based on facts, or are they just stories I've been telling myself? Often you'll find that the negative things you think about yourself are not grounded in reality. They're just fears or insecurities that have been left unchecked. For example, if you catch yourself thinking, I'll never be able to do this, challenge that thought by asking, what evidence do I have that this is true? Have I even tried yet? By questioning your negative thoughts, you begin to weaken their hold on you. After you've challenged the negative dialogue, replace it with something more constructive. This doesn't mean lying to yourself or ignoring reality. It means reframing your thoughts in a way that is both honest and empowering. Instead of saying, I'll never succeed, try saying, success may take time, but I'm willing to put in the effort to get there. Instead of thinking, I always mess things up, tell yourself, mistakes are part of learning, and I'm getting better every day. These shifts may seem small, but over time, they have a massive impact on how you feel and what you believe is possible for you. Changing your inner dialogue also requires practicing self-compassion. Too often we speak to ourselves in ways we would never speak to someone we care about. We criticize, belittle, and blame ourselves for every mistake, forgetting that we are human and that growth is a process. When you catch yourself being overly critical, pause and ask, would I say this to a friend? Would I speak to someone I love this way? If the answer is no, then it's time to rewrite that thought with kindness and understanding. Visualization and affirmations can also be powerful tools in transforming your inner dialogue. Picture yourself succeeding, overcoming challenges, and thriving, even before it happens. Your mind doesn't fully distinguish between what's real and what's vividly imagined. So by visualizing positive outcomes, you're training your brain to believe in those possibilities. Pair this with affirmations, positive statements that reflect the mindset you want to adopt. For example, repeat phrases like, I am capable, I am resilient, or I am enough. Over time, these affirmations become the new soundtrack of your mind. One of the most important aspects of changing your inner dialogue is consistency. Negative self-talk didn't develop overnight, and neither will a positive mindset. It takes daily effort to catch, challenge, and replace those negative thoughts. Some days will be harder than others, and that's okay. What matters is that you keep showing up for yourself even when it feels difficult. Each time you choose a positive thought over a negative one, You're rewiring your brain to think differently. Remember, you are not your thoughts. Negative feelings and doubts will come and go, but they don't define who you are unless you let them. By taking control of your inner dialogue, you remind yourself that you are the author of your own story. You can choose to write a narrative that empowers you, uplifts you, and inspires you to keep moving forward no matter what challenges you face. It all starts with the words you say to yourself. Change those words and you'll change your world. The people you surround yourself with have a profound impact on your mindset, your emotions, and your ability to overcome negative feelings. As the saying goes, you are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. If those people are constantly negative, critical, or stagnant, it's going to be hard for you to rise above that energy. On the other hand, when you surround yourself with growth-minded individuals, their positivity, ambition, and resilience naturally rub off on you, encouraging you to see possibilities instead of limitations, and to push past challenges instead of dwelling in them. Growth-minded people are those who believe in the power of change and progress. They understand that failure is not the end, but part of the process of learning and improvement. They focus on solutions rather than problems, and they view obstacles as opportunities to grow rather than reasons to give up. When you're around people like this, you start to see life through the same lens. Their optimism is contagious, and their belief in your potential can often reignite your own belief in yourself. It's important to recognize the role that environment plays in shaping your thoughts and feelings. Negative people tend to reinforce a victim mentality. They focus on what's wrong, what's unfair, and why things can't change. If you spend too much time in that kind of environment, it can drain your energy and feed your own negative emotions. Even if you want to change and grow, their constant complaints and doubts can create an invisible barrier that holds you back. That's why it's crucial to be intentional about the energy you allow into your life. When you surround yourself with growth-minded people, the dynamic is completely different. These are the individuals who inspire you to dream bigger, work harder, and believe in your ability to overcome challenges. They celebrate your wins and encourage you to keep going when you face setbacks. They offer constructive feedback that helps you grow rather than tearing you down with criticism. Their presence reminds you that progress is always possible, even in the face of adversity. One of the most valuable things about growth-minded individuals is that they challenge you to step out of your comfort zone. They don't let you settle for less than you're capable of. Instead, they push you to aim higher and take risks that align with your potential. This can be uncomfortable at times because it forces you to confront your fears and doubts. But it's also incredibly empowering because it shows you what you're truly capable of when you rise to the occasion. If you want to overcome negative feelings and create a more positive mindset, start by evaluating the people you spend the most time with. Ask yourself, do they uplift me or bring me down? Do they encourage me to grow or keep me stuck in old patterns? Do they believe in my potential or constantly point out my... If you want to overcome negative feelings and create a more positive mindset, start by evaluating the people you spend the most time with. Ask yourself, do they uplift me or bring me down? Do they encourage me to grow or keep me stuck in old patterns? Do they believe in my potential or constantly point out my flaws? This isn't about judging others or cutting people off without reason, but about being mindful of the energy you allow into your space. Sometimes, distancing yourself from negative influences is necessary for your growth and well-being. Finding growth-minded people doesn't mean you need to completely overhaul your social circle overnight. Start by seeking out individuals who embody the qualities you admire. Look for people who are optimistic, driven, and focused on self-improvement. They might be friends, mentors, colleagues, or even members of a community group or organization. The key is to surround yourself with individuals who share your desire for growth and who can offer support and encouragement along the way. You can also cultivate relationships with growth-minded people by being intentional about where you spend your time. Join groups, clubs, or online communities that align with your interests and goals. Attend workshops, seminars, or networking events where you can meet people who are focused on self-improvement. The more you put yourself in environments that attract growth-oriented individuals, the more likely you are to build meaningful connections. It's also important to remember that being around growth-minded people is a two-way street. You can't expect to receive encouragement and inspiration without also giving it. Be the kind of person who lifts others up, celebrates their successes, and believes in their potential. The more you embody these qualities, the more you'll attract like-minded individuals. Finally, don't underestimate the power of learning from others, even indirectly. Reading books, listening to podcasts, or watching videos from thought leaders and experts in personal development can expose you to growth-oriented perspectives. While these people may not be physically present in your life, their wisdom and insights can have a similar effect, challenging your mindset and inspiring you to push beyond your limits. Surrounding yourself with growth-minded people is not just about building relationships, it's about creating an environment that nurtures your best self. These individuals act as mirrors, reflecting the strength, resilience, and potential within you. They remind you of who you are at your core and challenge you to keep striving for more, even when negative feelings threaten to pull you down. When you align yourself with people who believe in growth, progress, and possibility, you create a support system that helps you rise above negativity and move closer to the life you want to live. Pain is one of life's greatest teachers, even though it's a lesson many of us would prefer to avoid. It comes in many forms: failure, heartbreak, loss, rejection, and often leaves us feeling powerless and overwhelmed. But pain doesn't have to be the end of the story. In fact, it can become the beginning of a powerful transformation. When you shift your perspective and learn to use pain as fuel for progress, you unlock a source of strength and motivation that can propel you forward, even in the darkest times. The first step in using pain as fuel is to accept it. Many people try to avoid or suppress their pain, hoping it will simply disappear. But running from pain doesn't make it go away. It only allows it to fester, often manifesting as bitterness, resentment, or fear. Instead of avoiding it, face it. Acknowledge what you're feeling and give yourself permission to experience it. Pain is a natural part of life, and it's okay to feel hurt, disappointed, or angry. By confronting your pain, you take the first step in transforming it into something powerful. Pain often feels like a wall, an insurmountable barrier that keeps you from moving forward. But when you look closely, you'll find that pain isn't just a wall, it's also a doorway. It's a signal that something needs to change, a challenge that forces you to grow, adapt, and evolve. Every painful experience carries with it a lesson or an opportunity for growth. Maybe it's teaching you resilience, patience, or the importance of self-worth. Maybe it's showing you what no longer serves you or pushing you to discover new strengths you didn't know you had. Pain is never meaningless, but it's up to you to uncover its purpose. One of the most powerful ways to use pain as fuel is to channel it into action. Pain can create an intense emotional energy, and if you let it, that energy can drive you to make meaningful changes in your life. Think about a time when you faced a painful setback or rejection. Did it motivate you to work harder, prove yourself, or seek a better path? Pain has a way of sharpening your focus and igniting your determination. It can push you to take risks, step out of your comfort zone, and pursue goals that once felt out of reach. Pain also has a way of breaking down illusions and revealing the truth. Sometimes it forces you to confront uncomfortable realities about your life, relationships, or choices. While this can be difficult, it's also an opportunity to reevaluate and realign. Pain can act as a wake-up call, showing you what truly matters and helping you prioritize your energy and effort. It can inspire you to let go of toxic habits, environments, or people, and move toward what brings you genuine happiness and fulfillment. Another way to use pain as fuel is to reframe it. Instead of seeing pain as a punishment or an obstacle, view it as a catalyst for growth. Remind yourself that pain is temporary, but the lessons it teaches can last a lifetime. When you face hardship, ask yourself, how can I grow from this? What can I learn? How can this experience make me stronger or wiser? This mindset doesn't erase the pain, but it helps you find meaning in it, which can make it more bearable and even empowering. It's also important to remember that pain can connect you to others. When you've experienced hardship, you gain a deeper understanding of what others are going through. This empathy can inspire you to support, uplift, and connect with those around you. Many of the world's greatest leaders, innovators, and creators use their pain to fuel their work, not just for themselves, but for the benefit of others. Their struggles became their inspiration to make a difference. Your pain, too, can become a source of purpose, motivating you to create something meaningful out of your experiences. Using pain as fuel doesn't mean denying your emotions or pretending that everything is okay when it's not. It means allowing yourself to feel the hurt while choosing not to let it define you. It means recognizing that pain is a part of your journey, but it's not the end of the road. It's a stepping stone, a challenge to overcome, and a source of strength that can carry you forward. Ultimately, pain can be the fire that forges you into a stronger, wiser, and more resilient version of yourself. It's not easy and it's not instantaneous, but the transformation is worth it. Every time you face pain and choose to grow from it, you take back control of your life. You prove to yourself that you're not defined by your struggles, but by how you rise above them. So when pain comes into your life, don't run from it. Don't let it consume you. Instead, let it fuel you. Let it remind you of your strength, your resilience, and your ability to turn even the hardest moments into progress. Practicing gratitude and self-awareness is one of the most effective ways to overcome negative feelings and create a mindset that fosters growth and resilience. These two practices go hand in hand, as gratitude shifts your focus to the positive aspects of your life, while self-awareness helps you recognize and understand your thoughts and emotions. Together, they allow you to approach challenges with clarity and appreciation, helping you break free from the cycle of negativity and discover a deeper sense of peace. Gratitude is a powerful tool for shifting your perspective. When negative feelings arise, it's easy to become consumed by what's going wrong or what's missing in your life. You might find yourself fixating on disappointments, failures, or things that didn't go as planned. Gratitude, however, invites you to step back and see the bigger picture. It's about acknowledging and appreciating the good that already exists in your life, no matter how small it might seem. This simple shift in focus can have a profound impact on your emotional well-being. When you practice gratitude regularly, you begin to train your brain to look for the positive. Instead of dwelling on setbacks, you start to notice the moments of joy, connection, and progress that might have otherwise gone unnoticed. For example, instead of focusing on a missed opportunity, you might find gratitude in the lessons you learned from the experience or in the support of the people around you. Gratitude doesn't eliminate challenges, but it helps you approach them with a mindset that is more grounded and hopeful. One way to cultivate gratitude is by keeping a gratitude journal. At the end of each day, take a few minutes to write down 3 things you're grateful for. These can be big or small, anything from a meaningful conversation with a friend to the warmth of the sun on your face. Over time, this practice trains your mind to seek out and savor the positive aspects of your life. You'll start to realize that even in the midst of difficulties, There is always something to be thankful for. While gratitude focuses on appreciating what you have, self-awareness is about understanding yourself on a deeper level. It involves paying attention to your thoughts, emotions, and behaviors without judgment. When you're self-aware, you're able to recognize the patterns in your thinking and identify the triggers that contribute to your negative feelings. This awareness is crucial because it gives you the power to respond intentionally rather than react automatically. Self-awareness begins with observation. Take time to notice your internal dialogue and how it influences your emotions. Are your thoughts critical or compassionate? Do you tend to dwell on the worst case scenario, or do you give yourself the benefit of the doubt? Becoming aware of these patterns allows you to interrupt the cycle of negativity and replace it with more constructive ways of thinking. Mindfulness is a powerful tool for developing self-awareness. By practicing mindfulness, you learn to be present in the moment and observe your thoughts and feelings without getting caught up in them. For example, if you notice yourself feeling frustrated or anxious, mindfulness allows you to pause and ask, what's causing this emotion? Is there a story I'm telling myself that's making it worse? This pause creates space for you to choose a more balanced and constructive response. Combining gratitude with self-awareness creates a powerful synergy. Gratitude helps you focus on the positive, while self-awareness allows you to navigate the challenges that arise with clarity and intention. Together, they create a mindset that is both grounded and forward-looking. For instance, when you encounter a setback, self-awareness helps you understand your emotional response, while gratitude helps you find silver linings or opportunities for growth. Another benefit of practicing gratitude and self-awareness is that they build emotional resilience. Life is unpredictable and challenges are inevitable, but when you cultivate these practices, you're better equipped to handle adversity. Gratitude reminds you of the resources and support you have, while self-awareness helps you manage your emotions and make thoughtful decisions. This combination enables you to face difficulties with strength and grace. It's important to remember that gratitude and self-awareness are practices, not one-time actions. They require consistency and effort, especially during tough times. There will be days when finding something to be grateful for feels difficult, or when self-awareness reveals uncomfortable truths. But these moments are opportunities for growth. By committing to these practices, you build a foundation of positivity and self-understanding that supports you through life's ups and downs. Ultimately, practicing gratitude and self-awareness transforms the way you experience the world. It shifts your focus from what's lacking to what's abundant and helps you connect more deeply with yourself and others. As you become more attuned to the good in your life and more aware of your inner world, you'll find that negative feelings lose their grip on you. You'll discover a sense of empowerment and peace that comes from knowing you have the tools to navigate any challenge. Voice. Gratitude and self-awareness aren't just practices, they're pathways to a richer, more meaningful life. Commitment to daily action and growth is the bridge between where you are now and where you want to be. It's not about giant leaps or sudden transformations, but about consistent, deliberate effort that moves you forward every single day. Growth doesn't happen by chance. It happens through intention, discipline, and a willingness to show up even when it's hard. When you commit to daily action, you create momentum. And over time, that momentum compounds into significant progress. One of the most important aspects of committing to daily action is setting clear, actionable goals. Many people feel stuck or overwhelmed because they focus too much on the big picture without breaking it down into smaller, manageable steps. While it's essential to have a vision of where you want to go, it's equally important to identify the specific actions you need to take to get there. Each day, focus on what you can do now, something tangible and achievable. Whether it's learning a new skill, making a phone call, or spending time reflecting, these small steps add up. over time. Consistency is the key to turning actions into habits. Growth isn't about perfection, it's about persistence. There will be days when you don't feel motivated, when self-doubt creeps in, or when progress feels slow. But that's when commitment matters most. It's not about waiting for the perfect moment or the right mood. It's about taking action anyway. Even small efforts on difficult days contribute to your growth because they build discipline and resilience. Daily action also requires prioritizing what truly matters. It's easy to get caught up in distractions or busy work that doesn't align with your goals. To grow, you need to be intentional about how you spend your time and energy. Start each day by identifying your top priorities, actions that will bring you closer to your desired outcomes. By focusing on these priorities, you ensure that your efforts are meaningful and aligned with your growth. One way to stay committed to daily action is by embracing a growth mindset. This means viewing challenges as opportunities to learn rather than as roadblocks. When things don't go as planned, instead of giving up, ask yourself, what can I learn from this? How can I do better next time? A growth mindset helps you see failures not as defeats, but as stepping stones toward success. It keeps you moving forward even when progress feels slow or uncertain. Reflection is another critical part of committing to daily growth. At the end of each day, take time to assess what you accomplished, what you learned, and what you could improve. This self-awareness helps you stay on track and make adjustments as needed. Reflection also allows you to celebrate small wins, which can be incredibly motivating. Recognizing your progress, no matter how small, reminds you that your efforts are paying off and encourages you to keep going. Accountability is a powerful tool for staying committed to daily action. Share your goals with someone you trust, whether it's a friend, family member, or mentor. When you know someone is rooting for you and holding you accountable, it becomes easier to stay consistent. You can also hold yourself accountable by keeping a journal or tracking your progress in some way. Seeing how far you've come can be a powerful reminder of why you started and why it's worth continuing. Growth isn't just about achieving external goals. It's also about who you become in the process. As you commit to daily action, you develop qualities like discipline, patience, and perseverance. You learn to trust yourself and your ability to follow through, even when the journey is difficult. This inner growth is just as important, if not more so, than the external results. It's what allows you to handle challenges with grace and continue striving for more. It's also important to remember that growth is a lifelong journey. There's no finish line or final destination where you arrive and never have to grow again. Each step forward reveals new possibilities and challenges, keeping the process dynamic and exciting. When you commit to daily growth, you embrace the idea that there's always more to learn, achieve, and become. This mindset keeps you open to opportunities and pushes you to keep evolving. Ultimately, committing to daily action and growth is an act of self-love and self-respect. It's a way of showing yourself that you believe in your potential and are willing to invest in your future. It's about taking ownership of your life and refusing to settle for anything less than what you're capable of achieving. Every action you take, no matter how small, is a vote for the person you want to become. Over time, these actions compound, creating a life that reflects your values, goals, and dreams. So show up every day. Take one step, no matter how small. Focus on progress, not perfection. Trust the process, even when it feels slow, because when you commit to daily action and growth, you're not just changing your circumstances, you're transforming yourself. And that transformation is what leads to a life filled with purpose, fulfillment,